They laughed at her. They mocked her. And they told her she didn't belong. But just 30 days later, the roar of a Rafale jet thundered across the skies above their camp, and the same people who had doubted her could only stare in stunned silence. This is the story of Captain Ayesha Malik. Ayesha was never the kind of woman who drew attention in a crowded room. She wasn't the loudest, she wasn't the tallest, she wasn't born into wealth or privilege. In fact, she came from a small village where daughters were often told their place was in the kitchen, not in the sky. But from the moment she was old enough to understand what dreams were, Ayesha wanted only one thing: to fly. As a child, she would lie in the fields with her younger brother, pointing up at the contrails of passing jets, whispering, "One day, that will be me." But dreams are fragile things. And life has a cruel way of testing whether you're worthy of them. When she applied to the Air Force Academy, the stares she received from the male recruits were colder than the steel gates she walked through. Whispers followed her everywhere. "She's just here because they need diversity. A woman can't handle the cockpit of a fighter jet. She'll wash out by the first week." But Ayesha kept her head down. She studied harder, trained longer, and prayed deeper than anyone else. Still, prejudice is a heavy enemy. And one day, during a training exercise, she walked into the mess hall to find her uniform folded neatly on the table, with a note scrawled on top. "Take it off. This place is not for you." The room erupted in laughter. Her hands trembled as she picked up the uniform. For a moment, she felt small. Insignificant. Crushed. But deep inside, something lit a fire. She didn't cry. She didn't quit. Instead, she whispered to herself, "I'll show them. I will rise higher than they ever imagined." The weeks that followed were brutal. She failed in her first attempt at advanced maneuvers. Her body gave out during survival training in the desert. And on the day of weapons testing, her jet malfunctioned midair, forcing her to eject and land bruised, broken, and humiliated. Every failure was ammunition for her critics. "See? We told you. She doesn't belong. She should take off the uniform and leave before she gets herself killed." But Ayesha refused to give them the satisfaction. Every night, while others slept, she practiced. She memorized manuals, replayed simulations, and studied her mistakes. Slowly, the bruises faded, her muscles toughened, and her heart became unbreakable. Her biggest challenge came during the final phase of training, the dogfight simulation. Only those who passed it would qualify to fly frontline jets. Ayesha's opponent was none other than Flight Lieutenant Cameron, the loudest critic of women in the Air Force. Before takeoff, Cameron smirked at her. "Don't embarrass yourself, Malik. This isn't for little girls." The fight was fierce. Cameron tried every trick in the book, diving, rolling, pulling G-forces that would leave most pilots gasping. But Ayesha stayed calm. She remembered her training, trusted her instincts, and when the moment came, she locked her target and simulated a clean strike. The scoreboard lit up. Ayesha 1, Cameron 0. The control room erupted in stunned silence. Cameron had been undefeated until that day. Her success earned her a place in the advanced Rafale program, a dream that only the elite few achieved. But the real test wasn't in training. It came on a hot summer morning, when intelligence reported an unauthorized enemy incursion near their camp. The squadron was ordered to scramble. One by one, the jets roared into the skies. But when the camp soldiers looked up and saw the final Rafale slicing through the air, their jaws dropped. It was Ayesha. The same simple woman they had told to take off her uniform. The same cadet they mocked. Now, she was leading the formation, her Rafale roaring like thunder, cutting through the skies with precision and dominance. The enemy aircraft never stood a chance. Within minutes, Ayesha executed maneuvers so flawless that even her critics couldn't help but salute. When she landed, the camp was silent. Soldiers lined up on both sides of the runway. No laughter. No mockery. Only respect. Cameron, the same man who once told her she didn't belong, walked up to her, removed his cap, and said softly, "You've earned what no one can ever take away from you." Ayesha proved something that day. That courage has no gender. That discipline silences doubt. And that even a simple woman can rise to the skies when she refuses to bow down. So if you're watching this right now, ask yourself. How many times have you been told you don't belong? How many times have others tried to strip away your dream? Let Ayesha's story remind you your uniform, your passion, your destiny belongs to you alone. Don't give it up, no matter who tells you to. Speech balloon. Now I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever faced a moment when someone doubted you and you proved them wrong? Share your story below, because your voice might inspire someone else today. And if this story touched your heart, make sure you subscribe to Xposed Tales and remember our motto. Backhand index pointing right. Be kind always. Because kindness, like courage, has the power to change the world.